So this was some interesting bad news, and for me anyway, I look at it and I say to myself, yeah, this is not exactly great. Some people were kind of maybe wondering, maybe, hey, what does this guy know or whatever. But for me anyway, I kind of look at it and I say, well, I think it's pretty easy. That somebody like this could have the right idea, or somebody like this could have, something that really kind of pushes Xbox into a negative space, right? Like, people were asking me like how I feel about all the changes and stuff. It's hard to say, really. Like, it's kind of a wait and see situation. You hope for the best or whatever, but it doesn't always work out well, and so personally, I hope that we see, Microsoft do a lot of changes and get some things kind of going, so that like fans can have something to be proud of again, and that is kind of how I think a lot of people are when it comes to Xbox and when it comes to being able to kind of accomplish what needs to be accomplished now. This was an interesting story because you see a lot of Xbox fans just angry all the time. But Seamus Blackley, who was the co-founder of Xbox to begin with, said that Microsoft is going to sunset gaming business following leadership change. Now, a lot of people might disagree. I might even disagree with some of what he says, but it's the way that people kind of go about, like this guy wouldn't know anything or have any idea, is absolutely insane. So it's been an interesting week since former Xbox boss Phil Spencer revealed that he was retiring, and Ashish Sharma is the new CEO. Now, Xbox co-founder Seamus Blackley has shared that he expects Sharma to, quote, slide Xbox gently into the night as Microsoft focuses its efforts on the rise of AI. Last week, as you know, Phil Spencer announced his retirement as Xbox CEO, and while many of us expected Xbox President Sarah Bond to succeed him, we were shocked to learn that she, too, has stepped down from the company, and Microsoft Core AI President Ashish Sharma has become Xbox's CEO, with former Xbox Studios head Matt Booty being promoted as Xbox Executive Vice President Chief Content Officer. The new leadership change has sent waves across the industry, and with many Xbox fans questioning Sharma's ability to lead a gaming platform as lofty as Xbox. In fact, questions were raised last week when she shared her gamer tag and achievements, revealing a very brief history of gaming. Whether Sharma can rebuild Xbox's reputation or not is yet to be seen, but some, like co-founder Seamus Blackley, believe she's been hired to let Xbox die. In a recent interview with GamesBeat, Blackley said he feels that Xbox is now an outlier in Microsoft's AI future, which is why Ashish Sharma, who has no experience in gaming industry, is now the CEO, saying, quote, Satya Nadella has made an incredible number of bets and invested an incredible amount of money and credibility in the transformer model AI future. Xbox, like a lot of businesses that aren't the core AI business, is being sunsetted. They don't say that, but that's what's happening. I expect that the new CEO, Ashish Sharma, her job is going to be palliative care doctor who slides Xbox gently into the night. Whether pushing the Copilot in gaming feature or hammering away with the new Copilot-fueled Surface computers, it's no secret that Microsoft's head honcho Satya Nadella is heavily betting on an AI-driven future for Microsoft. And while many players have been vocal about their hatred for generative AI in games, we're seeing more and more titles launch with some form of AI involved. That's the future Seamus Blackley sees for Xbox as a brand, saying the job of all these people is to just gently usher all these business units into the new world of AI. That's what you're seeing here. Whether or not you agree with it, whether you agree with AI having the potential to do that, whether AI will be successful is a matter that's separate altogether. But that's what we're seeing. There's no way surprising. It would have been shocking if they had somebody in there in a meaningful role who was passionate about games, passionate about the creator-driven business of games, because it would be in direct conflict with everything else Microsoft is doing. Microsoft is a company that is now about enabling customers by enabling AI to drive things. That's at odds with their model of the art, but specifically games. For many, Sharma's background, Microsoft's AI efforts is a concern, although it doesn't come as much of a surprise when you consider recent rumors about the next-gen Xbox console. According to reports, the next console will be Windows-based, a platform now heavily burdened by Microsoft Copilot, which I can vouch for, using the Xbox full-screen experience to optimize the platform for TVs. With that in mind, and Microsoft's apparent plans to blend PC and console gaming to one system, it makes sense for Sharma to take the lead within the gaming division. Nadala's own words last week, Asha Sharma, quote, brings deep experience building and growing platforms, aligning business models with long-term value, and operating at global scale, which will be critical in leading our gaming business into the next era of growth. The mentioning of aligning business models is particularly interesting while we considered the aforementioned next-gen rumors. In fact, Blackley goes on to say, it's like the thing people say about having a hammer and everything is a nail. That's incredibly true of Microsoft right now. Everything is a generative AI problem. Games, of course, are a Gen AI problem. This is why I say it makes perfect sense. If you're Satya, you have a hammer called Gen AI, and every single problem is a nail. Okay, so who do you put in charge of games? A games person? No, because in the world of Satya, everything is Gen AI problems. So you put a Gen AI person in charge of games with a training model, with boot camps for her to train like you have to train an AI model to bring in Gen AI into a position to revolutionize games. Could Xbox, as we know it, soon be laid to rest? We'll have to wait and find out. Again, some people are feel a certain kind of way. Obviously, some people kind of attacked and weren't really a fan of what he was saying here. I can understand it. I don't know, for me, if you're going to just sunset the business totally, I feel like you're going to probably put somebody like Matt Booty in charge at that point. And the reason why you would do that is because you would want to put him in charge so that he'd be in charge of the gaming part of it, since he already knows the studios and all that kind of stuff. If you were just going to be a publisher, that's what you would do. If you wanted to just continue down the path of having your platform die, why not just stick with Phil and Sarah Bond, right? Why make mass changes if you aren't actually planning to actually change anything? And I think that's probably part of what at least I have hope for. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my hope level is back up to 5%, where it used to be much worse. So we'll see. We'll see how more happens in the future or whatever. But again, Microsoft has a long way to go. They still have to, even if people ask me, do you think that it's too late? Can they make changes? Can they do this? Can they do that? And for me, honestly, I say I don't know if it's too late. You would have to really, really go out there and do something transformative to get people back on brand with Xbox, right? And I think one of those things you'd have to do is, and listen, I know what some people will say, well, but Phil said, we have all of these, we have all these digital libraries and stuff. Take it from me. Building a digital library is not very expensive these days. There's all kinds of sales going on right now. Pick up a ton of games, hundreds and hundreds of games, fairly cheap. So it wouldn't be as difficult as people might think. And again, there's nothing saying that just because somebody would get an Xbox because they want what Xbox has to offer, that they still couldn't get a PlayStation or a Switch 2 or whatever the case may be. And so that's sort of how I look at things as well. When I'm looking at Xbox, I think, what could they do? Well, first thing you can do is you would have to lower the prices of your current consoles. Second thing is come out with another console that's actually just a console, and a competitively priced one. Have exclusive games, have a good lineup of games, have some good features and things that are going to impress people. Get rid of the paywall for the multiplayer completely. Figure out something to do a la carte with Game Pass, if you're going to keep Game Pass, right? Where if somebody just wants to play on, well, I guess if you take away the online thing, then you would have to lower the price anyway. But it's as someone who used to pay for Game Pass, I don't want all the other features, man. I just wanted to be able to play online and get the day one games. Other than that, I didn't really particularly care. So give people a little bit more option there. Put the Activision games in Game Pass. Be upfront and honest with things. It's you guys weren't honest with people when it came to the games, just 4 games and no fundamental change. You weren't upfront with people. You lied to people. You can't continue to lie to people and then expect people to kind of still support your brand. It's not going to work that way. People are going to be very upset, and that's what happens. And it's no really kind of shock that people aren't putting up with Microsoft's nonsense anymore. you know. So hopefully that's something that they can get kind of working before too long. I think, you know, is it too late? You know, listen, it's hard saying. Could they do? They could, you know, do something and, you know, go to the playbook of what the Xbox 360 did, and maybe that could like surprise some people. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm appreciative of you guys. If you guys do like the videos I do, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. It really does help out tremendously, and certainly means a lot to me personally. Hope you guys all have a great day. Rack 'em up. Crab Gamer out.